Alright, welcome to my channel, more moto adventures. It's a rainy day here in New Zealand. I'm just pottering in the shed, about to do a bit of work on the bike and install a Rottweiler fuel intake system and some hosing, but that's for another video if I do that. But while I was here, I was just trying to sort through my tyres for a ride next weekend, and I'm going to throw a few of them out, so I thought I'd run through sort of my experience because I've got quite a few here. But to give you a bit of background, so into what type of riding I do, and before we get too far, it's not going to be a review about how many miles you're going to get out of a tyre, or kilometres here in New Zealand, but because I'm not really about that. I'm about what that tyre does for me when I'm riding. So I'll give you some indication of how much mileage they get, but it's not about how much you can get out of a tyre, it's about how well it works for me. I rode this bike here, the old Dakar, 650 Dakar, for 50,000 k's with my wife through Central and South America and the lower part of the States a few years ago, quite a few years ago now. It's a really good bike, but I've moved now over to the 790 Adventure. Had this one a couple of years, Adventure R, so sorry, a couple of years now. And I've pretty much got every tyre I ever put on it, so it will be a good selection of tyres. Pretty much how I ride though, I like to do sort of gravel, forestry, backcountry roads, a little bit of single track, but it's not necessarily my forte on this bike, although it has been in the past. But like getting well out there and pushing the bike pretty hard in the gravel and on those dirt forestry roads, and a bit of single track. So that's sort of how I ride. I ride pretty quick. I'm no Chris Birch, but we get along pretty quick in the gravel and things like that. So we're pushing the tyres fairly hard off road, not so much on road. Average speed on the tarmac. It's not really where I have my fun, so I won't be able to tell you too much about that, but I can give a bit of an indication around how they might go there too. Firstly, let's start with a tyre that I haven't run on the 790, but I ran it on the 650, and that's a Michelin Anakee Wild. Was a really good tyre. I haven't run them on 790 because I don't think they'll last very long in the rear. On the 650, they're about a 2-use tyre on a long gravel, so sort of about 800 to 1,000, about 1,000 kilometres of gravel, let's say. And then I think they're past their best. So this one here, I don't know whether you can see the tread, but pretty much gone. This one's done about 1,200 of gravel and about 2,000 k's. So with the higher horsepower of the 790, I just didn't think these would be a good option. But they're a very good tyre on the 650. Extremely grippy, but start to lose their grip in the gravel, especially from lateral forces, after about the second ride. But a good tyre all the same. What I'm currently running on the 790 is a set of Motoz, what are they, Desert HTs. Been a really good tyre. I've just done one ride of 3 days with that. So 1,600 kilometres in 3 days. Probably a 60-40 mix of gravel, dirt and tar, so 40% gravel and dirt, probably 60% tarmac, or maybe close to 50-50. Been really good tyre. So I'd say the front's just knocked the mould off it. And I've got a new one here, and it looks pretty much the same as the one that's on the bike. And I've done about another 400 k's of tarmac with them, so about 2,000 k's all up so far. With the rear, I would say this one here that's on it, as I said, that's done the 1,600 k ride plus a 300 or 400 on the tarmac now. I would say it's about a third worn on the rear. This one here, same tyre, it did one ride with this one. About 200 of gravel and about 300 on tarmac. And to give you an idea, I think this one's got about 14 mil of tread still on it, and this one here has got about 9 mil still. So pretty long wearing, I would say. For me, I think, you know, doing my rides, not just general tripping around, I think it's about a 3,000 k tyre, and that's treating them pretty hard. So I'd say pretty long wearing. If you're taking pretty easy on your tyres, you're easily going to get 6,000, I would say, out of a rear tyre, and the front's going to be a good 12,000 k's, I would think, without any issues. The front shows no signs of cupping or anything like that. On the road, I've heard varying reports of what they should be like. I think on dry road they're very good. They hang on really well. Don't get too drifty. Certainly don't snap at all. I'd say in the wet, very slippy in the wet, but they are a very aggressive tyre, so you don't expect them to be great in the wet. So you've got to be pretty careful in the wet. What else will run on this? So if I look at the originals, I've got the Michelin Karoo 3s. To be honest, I don't like these tyres. I think on the road they're good. They're relatively quiet, but I pretty much rode these for one adventure ride and took them off. But what I find, and I think it's really the pattern of the tyre, because for me the pattern of the tyre creates a continuous line across pretty much, and what that means is when you're in the gravel they step out very quickly, and I would say a little bit relatively unpredictable. You do know they're going to step out, but they have no lateral grip at all, in my view. So decided to take them off. Haven't got around trying to give them away, but people don't seem to want them here. So yeah, that's what I think of those. Good on the road, reasonable on a wet road, I found. But yeah, just not my type of tyre. Doesn't suit my riding. One thing about the Desert HTs I didn't mention, I hear a lot of reports of people saying tyres are noisy. Now, I ride with earplugs. They are ones that only take a few decibels out, so they don't block the sound completely. But these Desert HTs are horrendously noisy once you get over about 105, and they're generally pretty noisy anyway. It's 105 kilometres an hour. So very noisy, you just got to be prepared for that, but a lot of aggressive tyres are a bit noisy. So another one I've run, I am running the stock rims on this, so they're the wide rims. I am looking to get some narrow rims because they are much better for the adventure riding, but it's very expensive to deck yourself out with a set of rims. This here is a Pirelli Scorpion XC mid-hard. It's a 140 wide, the stock tyres are 150, and I wanted to try it out on there just to see what they went like. Now they're a little bit square, obviously mounted on a wider rim, but not too bad. Very drifty when you're on the tarmac and the dry. I'd imagine it would be close to unrideable on the wet on the tarmac. It would be very tentative. But the only thing I'd say, it's almost a single use tyre. This one did about 450 k's on it. That is reversible, so if you reversed it, you get another ride out of it, a shorter ride. But the traction it gave while I had it is exceptional. The first bit of gravel I almost threw myself off the back, it hooked up so well, but very quick deterioration, so you've got to take it pretty easy when you get on gravel. Excellent in the dirt, just extreme hookup. Alright, what do I got next? That one. Alright, I've got some Motoz Tractionator Adventures. So I ran these after I took the Karoos off, Karoo 3s off the bike. So I'm not sure whether you can see, I've got a ruler here, but so the one in front here, I rode that for about 5,000 k's so far. Did about 1,800 of gravel in that time, and it still has about 6 mil of tread on it. So compared to a new one, which this one is, new one's got about 14, 15, around about 14 or 15 mil on it. So extremely hard wearing. Found a very good grip in the gravel. Probably better than the Desert HT in the gravel, because the Desert HT is quite hard rubber, so I find in the gravel it actually almost is a better tyre, and I'm guessing the Rail Z, which I haven't used yet and will probably get next, would be sort of the ultimate gravel tyre, because it's a mix between this and the Desert HT. Desert HT is pretty predictable though, so and very grippy in the dirt, but yeah, a little bit skiddy in the gravel, but lots of fun, and a tyre I would continue to use in the gravel. These are quite good if you want to cross a tyre that's good off-road, really good on-road. It is quite a good mix, and nice and quiet on the road, I think. This front's a Tractionator Adventure front tyre, so difference for this one compared to the Desert HT basically is it's got a longer centre knob. It's almost T-shaped, and that helps the wear a lot. This one's done the same as the rear before, so about 5,000 k's. Still got its wear grooves and depth grooves in it. It is really good nick still. The only thing I would say about this one, in terms of grip, very occasionally on the gravel it can step sideways as it rolls off this bigger centre knob. So you can occasionally catch you out slightly just because of that step, but it's only in certain types of gravel. You know, if you've got a bigger rollier gravel, that's when it'll tend to do it. But a good tyre, lasts well, but probably wouldn't run that one again just because of that long centre knob, and with like the Desert HTs and other things, you're getting good enough wear out of those fronts to not need that longer centre knob. And I haven't noticed any odd wearing patterns on the 790 in terms of cupping on the front or anything like that from any of the Motoz range so far. So I think their range generally is quite a good structure, so they do hold up well. And last year I did the KTM rally here in New Zealand, and at the time we were having a bit of a tyre shortage, so it was very hard to get tyres, and I never run. They actually recommended Mitas EO9s for the rally, which is not a great tyre. So I've got a Mitas EO9 here, and I know Chris Birch runs Mitas tyres. The EO9 I don't think is a particularly good tyre in that it is very hard. It's a very hard rubber. This one here, I did my ruler. This one did 2 days on the rally, so I went through 2 of them, and it's got about 4 mil of tread left. I did a bit more work on the road on this, mistreating it just to try and wear it out before I changed it. But yeah, really hard wearing. Good grip in a straight line, hooks up reasonably well, but if you're getting off in the grass or anywhere like that, slippery, dirty, mud conditions, because it is very stiff tyre, it doesn't clear the tread well, and very skiddy on the grass. And much like the Karoo 3s, it's very straight through the tread patterns with not much gap between the knobs, so it is very skiddy sideways. In terms of lateral grip in the gravel, but it is pretty hard wearing, but would never run them again. The one thing about them though, the EO9 front, which I don't have, because I changed that during the rally and threw it away. It looks like a different generation of tyre. It has a fraction of the tread depth of the rear, and was really just an atrocious all-round tyre. What did happen on day 2 of the rally, at the end I managed to get a new tyre, so I actually asked them to swap the mate's tyre, which they said they'd do. When I realised in the morning what they'd done, they'd actually given me a Mitas C21 Stoneking, and this was the one I ran in the rally here in my right hand, and it was an excellent tyre. It had come off Chris Birch's bike. He had done 2 days of the rally and changed it out. I did the other 3 days, did another 2 rides on it, and so all up, I'm guessing it's done about 3,000 Ks, 3,500 Ks. But I don't know how well it'll come out, but effectively the front knobs are held up well, a little bit of rounding. Actually the second row of knobs out are actually the ones that have worn quite heavily. The outside's pretty good. So running low pressures, pretty much running about 22 psi cold. So that's probably coming up to 23 or 4 maybe. In the rally I probably dropped them down to 20 to be fair. So pretty low pressures, which will be why the knobs 1 row out are wearing quite a bit, because the tyre deforming. But when you compare it to the new one, I bought another one, and this is going to be my default go-to adventure riding tyre now. Just exceptional grip, long wearing. You don't want to mistreat them on the tarmac and go crazy through corners, or they are going to wear. But if you ride 100 to 120, don't go crazy in the corners, they'll last a long time. And they're cheap too, compared to a Motoz front. Relatively inexpensive. So for Mitas tyre, C21, excellent front tyre for adventure riding. What else about those? Didn't notice they were overly noisy either, even though they're extremely aggressive front. I didn't think it was overly noisy. Alright, I think that's all the tyres I've got. So if you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments. Happy to provide more feedback on them. I'm happy to update these if you want to see how much I did get out of these Desert HTs. So yeah, any questions, more than happy to answer. And yeah, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy this kind of content and some of my other videos, I'm just starting out, so I'll get a bit better, and I've had some issues with sound up to now, but hopefully that's all solved. But yeah, if you want to subscribe, hit the like button, chuck anything in the comments. I'll answer any comments that come up, and any advice you want to know. And let me know if you want me to do something on the 790 Adventure R. Done quite a lot of sparkles on it, quite a few mods. So yeah, quite a few from Rottweiler. Make some good stuff. And yeah, it's quite a nice bike now. The mods have really helped performance and low end torque as well. So I'll probably do something on that at some point. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's me. Thanks for watching. Cheers.